check. There should be sound. Check. Okay, good morning to everyone. Our usual daily analysis. It is Saturday. Tomorrow I'm not going to make a video. Well, let's see what happens. The weekly now does look that this Heikenashi on the weekly is just about to turn green. Yeah, that's bullish. As I said a few videos back, we don't know what's going to happen. We could have dumped, or we could have we are right now playing the bullish alternative, like this is going up. On the daily, we can see that the money flow is increasing to the upside, and this is bullish definitely when we see such divergence on the money flow on the daily, and such divergence in the momentum even in the daily. This is something like head and shoulders. I think we should have more upside. Let's see the 4 hour. Well, the 4 hour is just printing a red momentum dot, although the money flow is just going in the green, which means that there might be some more. So we have to see. This move was a little bit sudden and very quick. It surprised a lot of people and it wrecked a lot of shorts. And it might be over, and it might not be over. So we have to see. Personally, I think there is some more to come to the upside, but maybe first we have to backtest this 20k support. It was resistance, now it's support. This is personally how I feel, but we'll see what happens when on the 3 hour the money flow is steadily increasing. There is there might be more coming, more upside coming. 2 hour, yeah, money flow is going up. Well, it seems that there can be more. There can be more upside. I'll just place like some targets, probably to short this, but yeah, don't short right now. I think wait for it. We have divergence on the 45 minute, but the money flow is going up, so don't do anything stupid right now. 30 minute, the same. On the 15 minute this looks like it's going to dump, but yeah, momentum is quite strong right now. I want to see the other charts. So on the 21 minute we're almost near the Bollinger Band, and on the daily, well, we are very close to the Tenkan Sen and the higher Bollinger on the daily, which is meaningful for me, and I think we're going to get rejected, at least small rejection from the Tenkan Sen, which is at 21.8 or 9. So maybe I think I want to trade this. Because yeah, here on the 15 minute money flow is decreasing, so it's a matter of time before we start dumping. Well, right now there is no we're above the pivot, and the first resistance on the 15 minute is 22.2. so however, we're quite divergent here. We can see the divergence on the MACD, and yeah, I think I will start a short at this level. I think we're going to get rejected. Um, I just want to wait. Sorry, this is the 5 minute. I want to wait the 3 minute to see what happens with the 3 minute. Alright. Well, here we have yeah, we have strong momentum here, quite good momentum. Um, so let's see, 21. Yeah, of course it's a risky to short such a momentum, but I think we're going to get rejected from this Tenkan Sen at 21.8 or 9. So we're very close. Very, very close. If I see the Google Trends, Bitcoin price search term, it is going up a little bit. So it topped out, hopefully on 18. This might be a fake before the new big leg to the downside. Excuse me. So yeah, oh, I will be shorting this. I'm placing a short right now. I wanna short this. Come on. I wanna short this. Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm in for a small short. How small? Let's see. Where is my target? Maybe I target the pivot line at 20.8. 20.8. Yeah, 20.8. I think. Maybe we go down even lower. Let's see. Let's have a take profit here, and the other one I will not place a take profit. I will probably have a stop loss after it goes down, because we might start dumping here. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much from me. I'll play Inspo Crypto on-chain analysis to see what happens next, but I think yeah, it's time for some rolling over to the downside for some small correction.
To another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspo Crypto. Well, finally, the bulls just reacted. Even I don't like the way how they reacted, because usually when it remembers a little bit what they did. You remember last year and the years before with Tether, where they just overnight pushed up very hard the price. They did exactly the same, and that's in my opinion not the way that let us hope that the price is going up midterm. I think just right now, even I flipped a little bit too bullish just since 2 weeks now, or 1 week, expecting a reaction to go up again, and it didn't happen. And now the reaction, yeah, I don't like it all, to be honest. It's just exaggerated, push up, push. That's usually something that ends in a dump. We will maintain and even go a little bit more up. We will check a lot of different informations before. You can see at the moment that Binance is limiting the way up at 21,500. I just said today 21,400 would be the next stage I would expect, and then we need to see how Bitcoin is going to react. We are, at least on Binance, we still have a very nice volume. Yeah, we really need to see, even if the volume delta is declining even more, and we had really low red candles the way up, but at least on Binance it's indicating big distribution happening, because we have here big volume deltas, really big volume deltas, sometimes even bigger than big green candles, or similar at least. So yeah, we will see what's going to happen in the next few days. They didn't retest 18k. They failed again. That's something also I don't like, because we did a bottom. Not saying that's that bottom, just a local bottom at 17.7. That's, we didn't retest anymore, and I don't like at all. But we will see. They liquidated a lot of shorts at the same time, so at the moment it looks like a shakeout. For subscription members, I don't know what happened yesterday with the poll for the new chapter, but nobody voted, so I guess something went wrong. We will try it again in a different way. Just place your comment and tell me in the when you are receiving the Substack email, you can place a comment below. Just place and tell me what kind of topic you want to talk about, or what kind of topic Inspo should talk about in this special subscription member chapter that I will introduce in the daily analysis from now on. So let us go forward and check what's happening. Well, first of all, we can see what SPX, SPY did. I mean, also here very expected, but it was just too much, really just too much what Bitcoin did here. Usually, as mentioned, doesn't end very well. However, weights ratio 30 hours moving average, a little bit as expected, declining again, indicating they let, even it maintains relatively high, but indicating they let the price go up to distribute, of course. So if we check the weights ratio 30 hours moving average, we see here some very interesting informations. Well, first of all, the weights ratio 30 hours moving average lifted up, declined a little bit, lifted up again above of 90, where I said we need to be very careful, and then instead to lift up even more, hitting 92, something I was expecting, it declined again. And also from here it's indicating that they were preparing that move since yesterday night, at least related to the weights ratio 30 hours moving average. The stablecoin reserves on exchanges is declining. It went up, and well, it declined then. It declined even more, and then afterwards it lifted up a little bit. That's usually something that I would say some exchange just refilled their stablecoin reserves, and the stablecoin supply declined and lifted up a little bit, but nothing. I mean, we are talking here about something like 100 million. And at least on centralized exchanges, the stablecoin reserves, we should see that maybe in the next few hours it should decline again, because I have noticed and received just a few minutes ago almost 300 million outflows from Binance. So yeah, in my opinion, I wasn't expecting that move, to be honest. Such really a little bit like scam pump, the same they did just before, because also that candle here was just but that was a shakeout like expected, and they didn't even retest it at 95. They just did 19.3, 94 or something, and then just directly up. I was expecting 19.5, as mentioned just before, that I was expecting 19.5 to a retest, to have a solid signal. Okay, we go up or we go down, and they not even did this retest. They just went directly up, indicating that was just a shakeout. That was just to liquidate longs first and then shorts, and they are liquidating a lot of shorts, or they did at least. Usually, I would say when they are just liquidating shorts first is because the price will go down again. You know, just to liquidate them first. The same thing they did just before. But yeah, we need to see. It's just too early. We can see that here, almost green, indicating more inflows coming in. As also mentioned, it looks like preparation. So even I flipped to bullish, it's not convincing me today. We did 20,500. It was just too brutal. We went directly up like hell, and that's something. Well, waste ratio also here indicating, it looks very concentrated between 19 and 18. So right now at 86. So they let the price go up a little bit more, and that's something that also looks like a little bit like how to say. Um, like shakeout. It's a better way if I use that here. That's incredible what they did just in 1 day. That well, speechless. Really, just speechless. But if we check that here, and that's what they like to do, like they are doing once again, for example, is every time when we went up, they attracted shorts here to push up once again, bring some red candles to attract shorts here again to push up again. That's in my opinion. I don't see why a whale should do that. And the main pump was driven, and we will take a look to that, to centralized exchanges and not OTC. So also here it's for me just indicating that exchanges, and we know what exchanges mainly that is, they are just looking for liquidity, and liquidity comes right now just from liquidations. So yeah, that's it. Let us go forward. So we can see that we are receiving just in the last 2 hours almost 4,300 bitcoins. And I have mentioned that yesterday in my analysis that some people are saying, well, 7K are peanuts because they don't understand how the market drivers are using this market. They are not just sending 7,000 bitcoins to dump immediately. Sometimes it happens, sometimes, but they use different channel to drive the market: OTC, futures, spot. And they know they need to use spot to dump the market and to make gains with their short. They know that. They are not stupid. So when you see, and if we take a look here, and we can see how big these guys are right now sending bitcoins to the exchanges. I mean, they did here 4,500. That was the day where I just mentioned, hey, we received 7,000 bitcoins. We had one big stablecoin outflow, and it wasn't that big, but 48 millions right here. And now much more bitcoins are coming in. Also, the reserves of centralized exchanges are lifting up. So usually that's a sign of preparation, and matches very well that the waste ratio is not dumping. It's just declining, indicating still coming a lot of bitcoins from whales. That's the whole thing. So also here they sold some bitcoins, and that's why stablecoin inflows and outflows correlates together. But we are talking about 20 million in stablecoin inflows and 20 million in stablecoin outflows. I mean, that's not big, but they are sending thousands and thousands and thousands of bitcoins. So it seems they are preparing the next big step. It wouldn't surprise me. I really try now to focus on what the data is indicating me. But we know, and Bitfinex is doing exactly the same they did in May and in June. And we know that at every big dump we had, the first thing that they did was, like now, just to push up very hard. So we need to be careful. However, I mean, I like to see that the price is going up a little bit. I mean, we did almost 2K in just not even 20 hours. But yeah, we need to see. In my opinion, I wouldn't bet here that we are going much higher, but the metrics and the remaining data will tell us. So let us go ahead and check what's happening. Even here you can see that the withdrawals are not correlating to the inflows. Also, an indicator, even if they could accumulate bitcoins buying and maintaining on the centralized exchanges before they withdraw it, but usually they close afterwards. You know, when you see such a big stablecoin outflows, means they sold and then they took profit, so they withdraw, and afterwards, and I'm talking really afterwards, almost 7 hours, 8 hours later, you see a big outflow of 2,300 bitcoins, indicating they bought this 2,000 bitcoins. But I don't see that yet, so we need to go forward now. So if we check futures now, we can see that funding rate was lifting up after we declined very hard. So it seems that was a big preparation happening behind. Open interest was declining and skyrocketing right now with the leverage ratio. The leverage ratio declined a lot and it's lifting up, but open interest is skyrocketing. And that's something that's, to be honest, if that's the consequence or the result of this pump here, then I need to say well done, because you remember, and I have mentioned that the activity on centralized exchanges, and that's what we can see here, that's the spot market, and that's futures derivative market. If we take a look here, it's crazy. It's really crazy, because the highest activity on future market we had between April and May. Since then, it didn't recover to that level anymore. So yes, in October, November, we lifted up, but just to show you that was the activity here the activity in November, and here's our activity. So the trend is clear, and that's something I don't like to see, because the future market is almost doing 66% of the whole market, crypto market volume. You know, and that's the biggest cash cow for the exchanges. So if even the future market is bleeding, it's over for them. They need to be very aggressive just to liquidate and to bring more volatility to the market. Otherwise, to survive that, it's going to be a challenge. Spot market, it's different. So we see here a big activity related to the spot market. Of course, declined price, also declined the activity, but afterwards in October, November, it lifted up again, and look where we are now. So the spot market seems it's not the big problem and not the big issue, because they are right now just offering, you know, zero fee investments or trading, however they want to call it. So they don't care that much, because they know retailers and the masses are not going to come back just in a few weeks. So they don't care. They just care about this part of the chart. They need open interest. They need futures. That's, in my opinion, the current cash cow for centralized exchanges. Not talking about every exchange, because every exchange, I mean Coinbase, for example, it's not offering any derivative exchanges, derivative assets or products. So they are really in pain, because, you know, they just have that area here, and that looks extremely weak, really like a nightmare. Because if we check, I mean, the activity here is almost on the level of June 2018. I mean, that's really crazy. While the future market, as you see, it's bleeding, yes. I mean, it's still indicating December 2020 levels. So it's not going to be very easy to trade this market if that maintains. And in my opinion, some people are just saying, yeah, well, with higher markets, we will print money again, and bullshit. That's not the thing. You forget that people have to pay their bills. They see that crypto is not going to make them billionaires overnight, but they need their money overnight. You know, their expectations is to make quick money, and they see the volatility of crypto right now. It's not going to attract the masses at the moment. It's not going to happen. A lot of things have to change. The whole sentiment of the media, bullish sentiment, also on equities, and so on and so forth, bring some big stories. It's not happening. While the people with a rising inflation, or at least with a high inflation, and with a lot of different, you know, bad news related to economy, unemployment, and so on and so forth, they are not going to come back and say, yeah, why no? Let me start and try. No, it's not going to happen. So it's going to be a big challenge for exchanges, to be honest. we can see that many took profit here. A lot of stablecoin outflows related to derivative exchanges, stablecoins. A lot of stablecoin outflows. Yeah, we received then some inflows as well, but a lot of stablecoin outflows. So crazy, but at the same time, the opposite happening to Bitcoin inflows to derivative exchanges. What? How is that possible? Well, usually, and many of you remember what happened in May and even before, but May, June. Do you remember Bitfinex with almost 3 billion? I remember it was 2.7 or 2.8 billion. I think they even reached almost 3 billion in longs, while only 50 millions in short. And that was just because they were selling spot while longing with Bitcoin collateral. And if I check this here, it looks similar. Well, usually that means they are just making a quick profit. It's just to make, I'm selling with profit because I bought the dip before. Now I'm longing with Bitcoin collateral, push the price up, take profit, nuke to get the next dip. And that's what they did. And it seems they are starting again. If that's the case, I wouldn't say it will happen in 2 or 3 days, but it looks very similar to what they did just in May and June. And we know the consequences of that because they nuked very hard. So also here we need to be careful and we need to track all that if something is going to change, because if that maintains that I don't like that at all. So now aggregated liquidations. Yeah, you can see what happened here. I mean, even we had more longs, but they liquidated much more shorts now. Much more shorts. Because, of course, they liquidated here some shorts, a lot of late high leverage shorts. So they liquidated a lot. For me, it's both indicating that was just a shakeout operation. And I guess it's not going to end here. So really, really, really hard to trade this market at the moment. We can see open interest. We are getting more longs because traders are demanding. That's why the funding rate is positive or it's going up. While the open interest indicating more longs coming in, retaining longs. But as mentioned, funding rate just shows you where's the biggest demand. So it's not saying that no shorts are coming in. And in my opinion, if we take a look with these shorts, they will wreck them. That's late and in my opinion high leverage shorts and longs. So volatility will happen again. Push up, liquidate shorts, push down, liquidate longs. And that's what they want to do for a while, I think. So pure gambling. If you have such market actors and you see that the whole market is in just few hands, it's really difficult. The only way how to make money here is really big volume, low leverage. Something I can't do right now with that market conditions, unregulated and so on and so forth. I'm not going to do it, so it's really hard. Binance, 100 millions. Wow. People shorting, it seems, with low leverage but big volume. That's what we can see. Let us take a look what FTX is indicating. 100 million, it's twice of yesterday's volume, if I remember right. Let us see what FTX is doing here. Well, different, but yeah, it's different. It's different. And even here the volume declined a lot. Or at least it didn't rise. So only on Binance it seems it lifted up. Low leverage but high volume. I would be, as mentioned, just really, and it's sad because I was expecting such a push up, but it's again not convincing me. So that's it. Let us go forward. So let us check what exchanges are doing related to CBD, and it's rising all the time. For example, Bitfinex. That's what they are doing all the time. Big imbalances, it seems. If, for example, the market maker is now accumulating. Okay, so retailers buying, shrimps declining a little bit. These guys not doing anything, not yet. These guys yeah, lifted up in balances, it seems. Market maker, wow, we have a new low level. We have now 4,900,000 bitcoins. Huh, maybe that explains the big volume. Wow. So I don't know what's happening to entities, but these guys are not accumulating yet. It's completely different to last year, and in my opinion, I mean, I did my analysis last year. I know that these guys know everything, and they are not accumulating. And you know, and I mentioned many times, if this guy starts to accumulate, wow, I flip to extremely bullish. It's not happening. It's absolutely crazy what these guys are doing. I mean, really crazy. While of course, 80% of these entities are related, almost 80% are related to exchanges, while these guys declining and these entities lifting up makes sense at all. But really, really crazy. And I have mentioned we need to be very careful here, but it's not the first time they do that. So once again, I mean, we need to be very careful. If you check, for example, the price, because that's what they did. Binance went up, these guys declined. So yeah, it seems they are distributing, and I don't know why. I really don't know why, because these guys are the experts, in my opinion. Best timing, they know, just they are front running. So they always know when bad news are coming, they are acting like pros, the only one. And timing, trade behavior. I mean, these guys have to be institutionals, or it seems they have the inside informations. They are not accumulating. Instead, distributing IMO. That's really crazy. So let us take a look. We remember OTC centralized exchanges. If we check here, bigger activity based on centralized exchanges. Here, a big gap, OTC.
I think the most important thing is that then the market makers are not accumulating, and well, yeah, that's not good for Bitcoin. I think we may have a dump soon, hopefully. Um, on the lower time frames, it seems that we should have, but on the higher time frames, the money flow is still going up. So it's a risky one, but I'm willing to take it. At least I want to see the 15-minute, or at least go to some level here at 21,100. Just correct a little bit, go down, and probably then I can take a stop loss or close something. We'll see. But yeah, it looks like really short squeeze, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Have a good weekend and enjoy the weekend. Don't think too much. Head hurts from thinking too much. Bye.